So yesterday and today we have Gospels of people being called. It seems kind of an odd selection of Gospel, considering the Epiphany is about to happen. So the Epiphany will be celebrated tomorrow or next Sunday, depending on where you are, in what country. But we're talking about Jesus in the crib. It's still Christmas time, and now we've suddenly jumped forward to people being called. But there's always reason for this. There's always a reason for this. There's always a genius behind it. This season of goodwill, the season of joy, hopefully the season of the family, the season of all those kind of things, there's always something deeper going on. It's a season where we recognize God's infinite goodness, God's humility. The humility of Jesus to come down into a crib and to be so helpless and harmless, all out of love for us. And that's all fine. But what is difficult for us at times is that this isn't just a spectator sport. You know, what we're called to do as Catholics or Christians isn't just to kind of watch and gaze on these things and say, wow, isn't that amazing? That's part of it. We do have to, see these things with our own eyes, experience our faith, absolutely. But then the next step, the next part of it, is one which I think maybe isn't so obvious to all of us, and that's the fact that we're called then to witness to it. So we've experienced the faith, we've lived faith, we have this relationship with the Lord, hopefully, and now we're called to go do something about it. It's not just enough to say, I was baptized, or I went to Catholic school, or I went on a pilgrimage here, there, or wherever. That's all nice, and do those things, that's good. But the next necessary step is that now that we've witnessed the Lord, now that we know Him, now we have to witness to Him, as in we have to make Him known to others, to become missionary. And that's something which is, I think, all the more necessary today in a world that thinks it has everything without God, and yet wonders why it's so miserable. We think now that we're, technologically we are fairly advanced. Those who are considered poor in society today are still doing quite well for themselves relative to 50 years ago, 60 years ago. I mean, not so within living memory, there was no unemployment benefit in this country. If you were unemployed, that was it. You didn't get money. That was it. You just didn't earn anything unless you worked. So, poverty is relative. So it's not enough for us to just say, I don't know, we believe in God, or we're above the breadline as regards faith. We're always called to more. Always called to more, and that's a good thing. Rather than feeling kind of always insufficient or short of the mark, we're always called to a deeper relationship with the Lord, and then to witness to that. And God calls us as we are. So if when you read we don't know a whole lot about a lot of the apostles. I know the Chosen kind of fills in gaps with what could possibly have been the case. Obviously, that they're not presuming, or they're not claiming to for that to be gospel, but they're saying this could be. Who knows? Could be like that. But we do know that the apostles were rough and ready at best. That they were not perfect. That they even we often think of James and John. We often think of John the apostle, who rested his head against Jesus. Yes, he was also the one who, with his brother, wants to call down fire and brimstone on those who offended the Lord on another occasion. And the Lord had nicknamed them sons of thunder. So this guy resting his head was one of those guys. So we see that there was a bit of a progress, a bit of growth in his life. But he called them imperfect as they were. And that's good to know. You see Simon Peter, who messed up so often and misunderstood so often, but was still called to be Pope. And that, I think, is a great consolation for you and I. We're called as we are. We're called to witness to the Lord as we are, where we are, in whatever circumstance that the Lord places us. And this is something, not just a kind of an optional extra or a nice little bonus. This is essential. Because who will hear about the Lord if not through us? So we ask the Lord today to renew our missionary hearts, renew our missionary spirit, renew our country, renew Ireland here that was so famous for missionaries throughout the centuries, but is now in need of great revival and renewal. We ask the Lord now to send labourers into his fields, to call many hearts and souls to serve him, and that they will have the courage to say yes and witness to him. Amen.